Hello guys, welcome again. So let's talk about Bitcoin. As you can see here, Bitcoin is dropping right now. I'm still in short position from $114,000, 400, 500 around there. I'm in short. Remember a few days ago when I told you, I was bullish here actually. I was bullish here, but the condition was Bitcoin must keep pumping, right? I said, hey, we have to see the move. If we see actually this move, if we are bullish here, because I was bullish here, yes, a few days ago we have time. Well, at least Bitcoin had time. So the target was around 120k. Of course, if Bitcoin just instead is just in sideways here, and also we see the settle line crossing here in momentum, because we don't have volume, there is a very high probability this actually could be a fake out, and after that we could see actually rejection and continuation to the downside. Now, what happened? Well, let's talk about it. So as you can see here, now Bitcoin, instead of pumping here, it was just in sideways here, and got rejected by the resistance around 115k, and after that is dropping. Now, what is next? It's very simple. It's to the downside, okay? There is no other direction for me. It's to the downside, looking for maybe around $107,000 first target, and also 100k. Actually, I'm looking for 100k. I am in short. I am not planning to close my positions. I will keep my position open. My position, as I said before, is around 114k 500, around there. Looking for this beautiful sell signal forming right now in 1-day chart. So this weekend, potentially we could see Bitcoin sideways here, but eventually you will see next week continuation to the downside. Now, this move, I have to say this move, it could be a very nice opportunity to buy. And you're in the investment channel, and of course I'm gonna post this technical analysis later today. But in the big picture, it's very simple. The MA55 here is around 100k. Okay, it's around 100k. So that's why, of course, it's gonna take time. But if we see this move to the downside, it could be actually a very nice thing. Okay, now let's continue with the monthly. The monthly is actually very interesting. The monthly right now is still, we have actually the ADX positive here. So Bitcoin is doing very well. It's holding the position, right? As I said before, we don't want to see Bitcoin closing below $107,000, and actually looks like it's gonna happen. I am not expecting to see Bitcoin crashing to 100k today. I think it's gonna take time. Just in case, I'm expecting that, but if we see Bitcoin closing today below $107,000, 105, 100k, well, that is gonna be a big problem, because that means Bitcoin will continue crashing all the way down to maybe $80,000 or something like that in the monthly. But as long as Bitcoin is defending this area, $107,000, 106, everything should be fine. Now, I am bullish, looking for actually after, if we see this test around 105, right now is, let me see, 100k, weekly chart, 100k. Yeah, potentially here, if we see this test, I am very happy. I will be more than happy to open long positions. Now, in 1-day chart, there is no, the only entry technically right now is a short position. Of course, this is not the best area. If you're planning to enter in short position, wait for maybe the next sell signal in 4-hour chart. Eventually this weekend, you will see maybe potentially a sell signal. And now, technically speaking, in 12-hour chart, we have, of course, we have a sell signal ADX negative here. The trigger was a $113,000 in 12-hour chart. Of course, continuation, looking for this area to be tested. Now, in short term, in 1-hour chart, I know maybe you want to trade 1-hour chart. Of course, we will see a bounce here, potentially looking for 112, 111. But after that, continuation to the downside. The trend is your friend. In this case, Bitcoin in our chart is turning to the downside. Now, let's continue with weekly chart again, and let me show you something. Bitcoin, remember, is an uptrend, right? It's an uptrend. The trend is your friend until the end. So as long as Bitcoin is in uptrend here, when you see Bitcoin testing around the MA55 here in 1-day chart, in weekly chart, sorry, is a buy opportunity. Of course, if we want to see reversals, we have to see something like this. What happened in 2021? Bitcoin tested the MA55, But not just only that, Bitcoin tested MA55, but instead of pumping, it was just in sideways for 1 month. Yes, and after that we saw a major crash. Mm-hmm. So it's gonna take time. So as long as Bitcoin is respecting the trend, I am bullish here, and especially because the momentum is getting much better right now. It's getting much, much, much better. Now let's continue with USD dominance. As you can see here, USD dominance is in consolidation. It's still in consolidation. Volume is actually very, very good, very high. The monthly here, we will see a buy signal very soon here with a very, very strong breakout, even almost breaking the previous level of August. So, mark my words, the move we are gonna see for Bitcoin in November, December, potentially the last move is, I mean, this pump, if we see it, is gonna be the last one. After that, we will see a major, major correction, 70, 80, 75% correction maybe next year. Why? Because this is very obvious. This is very obvious. Massive institutions, market makers, they are taking profits right now at this level. As you can see, volume is actually very strong. We have this trend line here in volume, right? The first high was in 2023. The second high was in 2024, September, and now April 2025. Finally, we have this breakout in September 2025. So this breakout is massive here. So this is telling me it's very simple. This is consolidation, okay? This is consolidation. So that's why this is the time to start taking profits from the stock market. Well, not the stock market, maybe a little bit more, but about crypto, yeah, definitely yes. At least in my case, I am taking profits. I am not holding anything. When I see my targets actually hit, I close my position. I take my profits because I know this is actually consolidation. And in 2026, 2027, you will see this thing pumping very hard, potentially looking for 8%, 9%. Of course, if we see this level, you will see Bitcoin 50, 60, 70% down. So I am ready for that. As investor, it's a time to start getting ready, savings and whatever, right? You need to get ready because the time will come. If you are in the markets right now, protect your entry. If you're making profits, just think about it. What I said, of course, it's up to you. You can do whatever you want, but as I said before, like Bitcoin actually is looking very, very good. Now let's talk about Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance is doing something very interesting here. We are in resistance right now, technically resistance, right? Technical resistance in volume profile, but now the Bitcoin dominance is in between 100 MA100 and also the MA55. So I am expecting sideways here for a long time, right? Long time, because this is gonna be actually, we have a potential breakout here in the long term. Technically speaking, we have the ADX negative here and also various divergence here. But the problem with this setup here is the volume. The volume is very, very healthy. So that's why technically speaking, we are still in a Bitcoin season. If we go with 2 months, we have a sell signal right now here, ADX negative. So what I'm trying to say here, there is a probability in the long term, because this is 2 months, in the next maybe 1 year or two, the market is gonna crash. Potentially, you will see sideways here, but this is not technical analysis. It's just based on my experience in the previous cycle in 2020, for example. Here, the market was in sideways here, and remember, here is when Bitcoin crashed actually very bad. From, I think, was $10,000 to 4,000, like 60% in the Corona crash. And after finally the crash, we saw this major crash in Bitcoin dominance, and from there we had a major rally in altcoins. So what I'm trying to say is very simple. Potentially we could see the same thing. We could have maybe sideways here for a long time, Bitcoin crashing, all the altcoins crashing. That is the time to buy. And after finally we see a major crash in Bitcoin dominance, potentially Bitcoin found the bottom in that moment. I'm talking about 1 year and a half, and potentially it could be a very nice opportunity to buy in the long term. Now let's continue with some altcoins. Some altcoins here, for example, Solana. Solana is one of the coins actually people ask me, and yes, as I said before, it's doing the same thing as Bitcoin. There is no volume here, so that's why you cannot expect a big move here. Instead, it's just in sideways here, and of course, it's gonna be to the downside, right? All the altcoins right now, potentially they will just drop, same as Bitcoin here. Yeah, low volatility, get ready, because with low volatility, I am expecting actually a significant move actually. Now, for example, Tron here, same thing. Well, this is doing something a little bit different. Looking for 0.27 cents. Monero is gonna drop to maybe $300. XRP, the same thing. All the altcoins are actually they are looking same as Bitcoin. BNB is holding here, sideways here. Let me remove all the sideways here. Sideways here, technically speaking, is still to the upside, but we don't have volume enough to support this. And remember, we have a potential sell signal forming. Of course, I am very bullish here. Even if we see a major crash or major drop in weekly chart for BNB, it's a buy opportunity for me. Of course, in my case, I have to be honest. I was waiting for maybe 3 years, but well, the time is coming to start buying altcoins. Not now, but next year is gonna be the year. Next year, I think is gonna be the year where we can buy some altcoins, at least in my opinion. Hype, for example, here is doing very well. I have to say it. Of course, we don't have data. We have only just this year, but the hype is real. The thing is, like, this thing actually is doing very nice. Is breaking potentially this area of resistance. So we have to wait for the sell signal here, but there is no volume here. So but be careful. You have this altcoin, potentially could be a bull trap. Just be careful here. Dot, same thing, wasting time. Well, this thing is very bad. Let me see. Zcash. Zcash, I open a short position with very low leverage. I am here in short position looking for the better bargains here. I'm hoping Bitcoin could help me, and if Bitcoin crash, of course this is gonna crash to zero, right? Because this is just a scam. Honestly, I think I mean I know this altcoin because it's the altcoin from 2017. It technically was dead, has been dead for many years. So I think this kind of just is pump and dump. That's why. The only reason why I am doing this is because I know this coin. I know this coin. I'm very familiar with that. It's the first generation. In that time, 2017, maybe you started maybe in 2020, like many people. They started joining into the crypto space in 2021. In that time, 2017, the narrative was the forks. You have an idea. A lot of forks. It was very difficult to actually release your cryptocurrency in that time, 2017. That's why you saw many forks. Litecoin is a fork, for example. Ethereum is a fork of Ethereum Classic. Many people think like Ethereum is the original coin, but no, actually no. Ethereum is a fork of Ethereum Classic. Ethereum Classic is the original altcoin. Interesting, right? Actually, let me see. Ethereum Classic. In the last bull market, that thing crashed from $2, crashed to $2 and pump all the way to 100. It was amazing. Let me show you here. Show you. This is impressive. In 2020, crashed to $3, and from there, pump all the way to almost 200. So it was impressive, massive, 5,000%. Impressive, right? So as you can see, with this crash, it's crashed to $6 again. It crashed actually around 67%. So this is the original Ethereum actually. this is actually the guy. As you can see, since 2017, 18, the same time of Bitcoin, Ethereum, right? So, well, what I can say is like the market is just not moving at all, right? So let's talk about maybe the stock market. The stock market, I think, is gonna be a little bit more interesting than crypto. Stocks. Let's see, Adobe. Okay, what happened with Adobe? Okay, a correction here. It's still in sideways here. Okay. Let's see the bullish divergence here. Is it still open? Well, I think just we have to wait here. Um, Colgate. Let me see. It looks like today a little bit. Some coins, some assets are in red. Let me check what happened. Maybe the stock market, SP 500. The SP 500 is bullish. It's very bullish here. Hmm. I don't have any. I don't have a strong opinion about the stock market right now because I did it yesterday. So I think it's looking the same. Okay, now let's continue the currencies maybe. Let me see the crypto. Let me see the currencies here. Oh my god, the yen is gonna collapse. Seriously. Oh my god, this is gonna collapse. I'm very bullish here. Very bullish. This thing is looking so bullish. Oh my god. Okay. I'm gonna tell you something. Something. This is my own opinion. Okay. Uh, Something I learned about finance after doing this for many years is like there is no coincidence. I don't know if you know, but finally the prime minister of Japan actually was elected a few days ago, and the interesting part is actually the first girl, the first woman in the history of the country. When I was thinking why, um, of course I'm very happy. Like I don't care about the gender as long as the person is has the skills to solve the problem. I don't care about it. But Japan is very conservative in many ways. And when I was thinking about it, say okay, technically speaking, the yen is about to collapse technically because breaking 160 yen is the next target is gonna be 240 in the next 3 4 years. Mm-hmm. And suddenly we have the prime minister, and it's actually this person is a woman. I don't know. Just saying, maybe I'm gonna say something very bad. Maybe, oh my god, it's not. Please don't listen because maybe it's not for sensitive people. But what if actually this was on purpose? Maybe just they want to blame someone, right? Think about it. And I think the yen is gonna collapse. Seriously, I am living in this country. I love this country. It's beautiful, this country, but I think the yen is gonna collapse. There is a very strong possibility we could see the yen at 240 in the next 3 4 years. Okay, so uh, I am very sad because of course I love this country. I live in this country, right? But one thing is facts, another things is emotions. Okay, because I know there is no coincidence. Everything is on purpose. I know maybe some people, of course, in the government, whatever, they know what is happening, and they will just try to blame someone, right? I'm hoping to be wrong. Seriously, this prime minister is looking like she wants to really change Japan in many ways, but I think the moment now for Japan is terrible. I mean, seriously, the country is beautiful, yeah, it's super safe, but it's because the Japanese people are very polite, well educated, very nice, but also the bad things. Many companies are updated here. You are using fax, software development, software. Japanese software. I'm sorry for saying that, but sucks. Everything is terrible here. But at the same time, they don't allow foreigners or foreign companies come to Japan to compete because they are so afraid of, like, if one company from America comes to Japan, it's gonna take the market because all the software here is super outdated. It's terrible, terrible. You see, for example, Yahoo JP, like the website of Yahoo Japan. For many years, I was thinking Yahoo it was dead. The only country where it's still alive is in this country. Yeah. I don't know if you know this, but Japan has the oldest people in the world. The average age of Japanese people is 48. It's a country like you will see more dogs than kids. When you come here, you will see more people. I'm very sad. This is not about politics, but it's very sad, right? You see many old women here, old women between 40 something, buying what is the name of this? Like, they are dressing the dogs like a babies. Seriously, it's terrible. It's very sad. Yeah, and they treat like the dogs and the animals like they are babies because they couldn't have. And when you think about it, I was thinking actually, I was talking with about this with someone. Um, I don't know. You're coming from developing countries, right? For example, India or Philippines or something. Of course, that kind of countries they have many issues, right? All the countries we they are not perfect. But something I noticed here in Japan and also in Korea as well, because I live in Korea, is I don't know in America because I left America a long time ago. But people here they have very good quality, very high quality of life. But the quality of life they have here is just an exception. It's not something like actually you can have in all the countries, right? So girls, especially here, and also guys here, they have very high quality standards. And sorry for saying that, at least my opinion as a foreigner, they are quite selfish, actually, very selfish, because they don't want to sacrifice all their quality of life to have babies. You know what I mean? They prefer to buy a Gucci bag or they prefer to travel, that kind of things, superficial things, right? When I have conversations with them, it's more about they are more worried about how they are looking, the phone they are using, their bags, or makeup this or whatever, but they don't care. And it's very sad because I want to share something with you guys. I met a person maybe 3 months ago. No, no, no. In 2022, I was working in a company here, and I met this person, and she is the last woman in her family. It's just one person. She was 33, 32. And when I talked with her, she told me like if she doesn't have kids, all her family, her legacy, generations of people will disappear. Disappear. Yeah. All. And when I asked to her, hey, sorry for asking this, but it's not for you like important. Think about it. If you don't get married and you don't have kids, all your family, your legacy is gonna disappear. I think maybe for you, like you're an American, UK, India, I don't know your nationality, but I think most of all of us we think, well, we don't want that happen, right? Legacy, I think, at least my opinion, is very important. You know what the answer? Not just only her. Many people here, they don't care about legacy. They say, it's okay. As long as I'm okay, I don't care if my legacy or my family disappear. And that's why since 2014, in 2014, we have around 6 million empty houses in Japan. Now we have 12 million. It's very sad. I was walking around my place and you will see so many empty houses, even with the car inside, the furniture, everything. So entire families disappearing in Japan. It's terrible. It's terrible. And it's very sad because the country is wonderful. It's wonderful. And as a foreigner, it's something I will never understand. Yeah. When I see the charts like this one, I know, as a technical trader, I know Japan is gonna, financially speaking, is gonna collapse. I'm hoping to be wrong. Yeah, I'm hoping to be wrong. But the evidence is here. We have here the ADX is positive here, potential invalidation of Averroes divergence, and the only thing is holding or kind of trying to be like resistance is the exponential moving average 100, right? But any close, if you see a close above this, any candle close is closing above this moving average, you will see an explosive move like in months, maybe 1 year or two, to 200. And if with that happen, I don't know. I think like the country. Something I noticed here. I'm sorry. Maybe this is not. This is not about politics, but I wanted to share this because I am getting this. I'm getting this feeling more often. It's impressive how the Japanese yen collapsed. Look at this. Look at this. Since 2012. 2012, 2012, uh, until now, the Japanese yen crashed 102%. You see, but you see the streets, people don't complain. They don't complain. They don't say anything. They pretend like nothing happened. Imagine your currency in America, I don't know, the dollar crashed 100% in less than 4 years, 5 years, or 50%, or in India or another country. I am pretty sure you will see many protests, many people complaining, but in Japan, for some reason, people just pretend like nothing happened. Yeah. So I love the country, but I don't know, like, I remember this phrase a lot, like, a, a strong man build good places build weak men, and weak men create problems, and problems create a strong man, and this cycle. Honestly, I think right now in this country we are facing that problem. We have so many people just thinking about themselves. Guys, it's Saturday. You come here. You don't know who is the girl. People in the guys here. When I talk with Japanese guys, oh my god, I feel like I'm talking with a girl. I'm sorry for saying that. I know maybe some people will not like it what I'm saying, but I think this country is girls and guys. They are just disconnected. Disconnected. Yeah, and it's very sad. It's very sad. So just I wanted to share my opinion about this. Of course, maybe I will not try. I will try not to say it to do that again because this channel is about technical analysis. It's not about media. It's not about politics. But well, after living almost 8 years now in Japan, I can tell you very well from, of course, like as outsider, uh, what I see and why the reasons, right? So that's why come here. Japan is wonderful. It's safe. The question is for how long? I don't know because we are here, in a humble opinion, in a bubble where actually it's about to explode, and for first time I think in long time we will see maybe crime in Japan, maybe in the next 5 10 years potentially. It's just my opinion. Okay, guys. So let's continue. In weekly chart, monthly is very bad. We have low volatility, as you can see here. We are waiting for a massive explosion, massive move to the upside. Buy signal in the monthly. So I am very sad to say this is gonna break out. I am expecting a breakout in the following months, where 160 is the resistance. Breaking this level, you will see a massive pump all the way to 200. Sad. Okay. Now let's continue with more. 1 second. Let me 1 second. Okay. So let me continue with more currencies. As you can see here, the Mexican peso, for example, I have some people from Latin America also they are following this channel. Let me show you something. In the higher time frames, let's talk about 3 month chart. As you can see here, we have the 3 months since 1993, 1994. This thing was pumping like a Shiba Inu, right? Like you see, like almost 800% crash. Okay, so right now, even with 3 months buy signal here, 3 month candle chart buy signal here, it was fired last year. This thing is in sideways. So technically speaking, it should be to the upside, but instead it's in sideways here. Okay, and there is no volume. There is no volume here. So what I can say is maybe if by the end of the next year, yeah, because it's 3 months candle, right? If you see just sideways here, this is gonna be a sell signal, and potentially we could see a breakdown. That means the Mexican peso will continue to be stronger, where the target should be around 15, a potentially reversal all the way down to 12. Okay. I don't know. I don't watch news, but the only thing I can tell you here is why the dollar is getting weaker and weaker and weaker. And actually, I don't need to see this currency. Why the dollar is getting very weak is because gold. As I said before, when you see gold pumping, Bitcoin pumping like this, it's not because they are getting. It's not because they are getting more expensive. No, it's because the dollar is crashing. It's losing value. All the currencies in the world, they are crashing. So that's why market makers, financial companies, all big players, they are buying silver, they are buying gold, they are buying metals. Some of them they are buying Bitcoin. Okay, so that's why. Um, just get ready. I don't know which country you are coming from right now. I don't know your nationality, but please, saving is not enough. 9 to 5 job is not enough. You have to learn how to diversify your portfolio. Please try to open a business. It depends on the context of your country. In some countries, gold and silver actually is cheaper. You can buy it, or maybe real estate is very good. For example, in America, in Japan, real estate sucks here. I don't know if you know this, but you buy a house here is because you like the house, because eventually the house is gonna crash the value. The houses here are disposable. Yeah, so that's why real estate here is not a thing. So it depends on the context of your country, but learn about investing, learn about many things, because that is the only way actually we can make it in the future. So okay, now let's continue. Let's continue with more. Let me see the comments. SFEM. Okay, what is this? Okay, let me see. Let me see. Weekly chart. Okay, we don't have volume. This is actually very interesting. ME55 to be tested. It's testing. Sorry. Right now. Well, actually, for me, it could be a buy opportunity as long as the ADX is getting negative. When you see ADX getting negative and you see a buy signal here, and of course, this thing is just holding here, not making new lows. Potentially, it could be a good opportunity. Okay. Let me see. Well, the obvious target here for me is the ME55. Let me rephrase my technical analysis. Monthly 82, 83 is it could be the area to buy. Yeah, in the higher time frames around here. Yeah, if as investor I would like to wait for this level 85 to 70. Now in 1 day chart, oh my god, well, in 4 hour chart is looking terrible. Terrible. You can see, look at this major crash, super crash. Wow. Okay, this is interesting. 25% crash. Wow. Mm, yeah, interesting. Major crash. But as I said before, in my case, if I had to trade this, I will wait for 2 scenarios. No new lows. This thing is just making new high sideways here. Sideways is defending the ME55 in weekly chart. Second scenario is waiting for this area, ME55 in the monthly. Is a buy opportunity for me? Of course, yes. Yes, it's gonna be a buy opportunity for me. Only if I see this asset testing 80 to 70, 72. For example, one of the assets I want to show you here is UPS. UPS, as I said before, it was a big buy opportunity for me. As you can see here, ADX negative here, monthly firing a buy signal here. Weekly chart is actually very good. Forming a bullish divergence, it was a very obvious entry here. And as you can see here, in only 1 week, 2 weeks, actually now is 20% up. Okay, now let's continue. Let's continue with more. Let me see. Let me see the comments. It said, okay, Manic, but Japan is powerful in automotive and non-metal sector. I mean, maybe you're right, man. Maybe you're right. For the question is for how long. You see how many babies Japanese people have. That is gonna change. That is gonna change. If you think about it, in the next 20 years, even Elon Musk said that, like in 40 years, maybe Japan could disappear. And actually, yes, he's right. You check the data, actually, it's correct. In the place I am living, you have no idea how many old people I see everywhere. Everywhere. I don't have anything against them, but the problem is like The taxes for people who are working and they have their own companies is getting even more expensive, more, because we have too many old people like we have to maintain, right? Um, and plus, especially in this case, girls, they don't want to have kids because they don't want to sacrifice their Gucci bags, at least in my opinion. As I said before, I love the country, but something I have to say it. People, girls, especially here, they are. I'm sorry, but they are very selfish, very selfish. Also, guys here as well, not also only girls. You have to come here and you will see. 60s. I remember most of the girls in Japan, they are making money, but most of them they are spending 70% of all their money in just material things. Okay, I'm not saying that you can check the data. You can check. There are so many documentaries, many videos about kind of things, but actually it's real and it's getting worse. One solution is getting more immigrants here, but if they do that, what happened to Europe, France, Spain? They are fucking dangerous. Sorry for saying that, but they are very dangerous because they allow so many people from other countries to. What happened to UK? You see, I went to UK like long time ago, and now I went to in 2023, and seriously, it's not good. Yeah. So, but they decided to do that. The people there didn't want to have kids for whatever reason, right? I think the feminists hit so bad the world, you know. I'm sorry for saying that, but yeah, I think this bullshit of feminism is actually is too much right now, and that's one of the reasons. Honestly, I left America a long time ago. Yeah, personally speaking, I was fed up with that kind of things. Like, oh my god, I think you have some similar experiences, right? But well, this is not a channel for that. But that's one of the reasons why I left actually America a long time ago. Um, okay, now let's continue with Nvidia. Nvidia is making new all-time highs. Um, Now the thing here is like, as investor, of course, it's very risky. To be honest, this is very risky. It's looking more like a bubble right now. If you see the monthly here, let's talk about the 6-month chart. 6-month chart, as you can see here, there is no correction. There is no correction since 10 years ago. Of course, I am not saying that is going to happen. The ADX is positive here, but the momentum is super extended. Of course, we have to wait maybe a couple years, but eventually we will see a correction. For now, every time when you see the Nvidia crashing all the way to MA100, MA55, is actually a buy opportunity. The last time was in 2022, and after that 2025, and potentially here, when you see again Nvidia testing this MA55, it's a buy opportunity. In the long term, of course, it's a buy opportunity, right? As you can see here. In the monthly, 2019, 2022, and potentially here. Just follow the trend your friend. Don't short. Don't short. Let's continue with silver. Silver. Okay, I think we'll see a new time high continuation, maybe 70, 80 around there. Okay, guys, I think AMD super bullish. I am very bullish here. I am very bullish here. Apple bullish here. The rest of the year, I am very bullish. I am very bullish in the markets, especially here. Look at this breakout, beautiful breakout here, looking for an all-time high. Okay, now let's continue. We'll recap for Bitcoin, and I think that's all. That's all. Let's see Bitcoin in 4-hour chart. In 4-hour chart, remember, there is no volume, there is no entry. If you want to enter you want to buy here in 4-hour chart, be careful because we have a sell signal forming right now in 1-day chart. So there is a very high probability in 4-hour chart that move is gonna be a fake out. Yeah, the target for Bitcoin. Well, let me see. The arrow, my arrow is like this. Is to the downside. Is to the downside. Where the target should be. The first target should be $107,000. $107,000 again. This area. $107,000, and the second target should be around 100k. Okay, 100k is the second target. Okay, guys, thank you for watching, and see you